Stop.
Kigaru Taro.
For entertainment purposes only.
Only?
Only.
Hi friends, this is Terry from Kigaru Taro. I live in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State on the wet side of the mountains, and so we rarely get snow, but as you can see, we got a whole lot of snow. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna shoot this outside for this time. So the story I'm going to tell you today is about the very first time I actually had a spiritual encounter with somebody who was not a family member. I know you've already heard the story about my ghost boss, but that was the second one. This is the first one. Well, when I was in high school, I absolutely loved my teacher, Mr. Weingartner. He was my agricultural teacher because I love that sort of thing. And I had actually chose my high school. There were two high schools in my town that I could go to. And this one had a Future Farmers of America club and program, and I really wanted to do that. So I went there, and to my delight, I met Mr. Weingartner. And he was such a great teacher, such a great guy. What I think made him the best teacher was that back in those days, he wasn't sexist. He didn't care who his students were, boys or girls. It didn't matter if you were in the class to learn something about agriculture, welding, backing a manure spreader up, whatever. It didn't really matter. He didn't say only boys can do this or only girls can do that. And I just loved that. I loved his classes. At the end of my junior year, I was elected treasurer of the Future Farmers of America Club. So I was really looking forward to my senior year and really kind of doing more, getting more involved. And in fact, just before school started in August, we actually met at Mr. Weingartner's house because there was some sort of event that we were going to go to, but we needed to kind of learn and practice first. So he lived about a block from the high school campus, and I lived about a block in the other direction. And so I just walked over to his house, and all the other people showed up too. I got there a little early, and it was nice. He has a nice family. They're still around. And he had a nice little house, and I came there a little early. They let me in, but he was taking a nap on the couch, and he had his feet propped up at one end, and he had his cowboy hat over his head, and he just looked very peaceful. And when everybody got there, he woke up, and we had a good meeting. Now, about a week later, he died. He had a heart attack, and he died, and I was just so sad and broken up. And in fact, his was the very first dead body I've ever seen, because even though my brothers and sisters had been to grandmother's and grandpa's funerals and stuff like that, I had never been. I'm just too sensitive to go. I just either see or hear all the spirits. So I just didn't go until then. My mom went with me, and he looked just as peaceful as when he was napping on the couch, so that wasn't so hard. What did surprise me was about 2 weeks later, I had a visitation from him, just like I would have from a loved one. And indeed, I did love him a lot, just like family. And so he came to tell me that he was okay and that I would be okay, but he had another message for me as well. So in my dream, I was at my high school, and there's a road that would go in front of the football stadium all the way to the agricultural classrooms. And in my dream, I was walking on that road, like maybe going home, and I saw him there, and he was walking towards me, and so I ran to him, and I'm like, oh, so happy to see him, he's there. And he tells me, you're going to be fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. I am doing really well. He said, but I need to tell you something, and I need you to try to keep this in your memory. He said, I know how loyal you are to me and how much you love me. And you will get a new agriculture teacher. And I want you to be nice to him. Because being nice to him is not being against my memory. You're not being disloyal to be nice to him, but he's going to need your help. He's a new teacher. Please be kind to him. Please try to remember to be kind to him. And I think I just hugged him, and then the dream stopped. It was done. Well, let me tell you, that was a darn good thing that he told me to be nice to the next teacher, because the next teacher, I'm going to call him Mr. M, oh my God, he irritated me. He was so sexist and such an idiot. I continued to take my ag classes, and I continued in Future Farmers America. I mean, I was a treasurer that year, and I love it. But boy, I kept these. It's not that I was always nice to him. I wasn't, believe me. I couldn't control myself I was a teenager after all. But I often remembered what Mr. Weingartner said and would rein in my venom a little. And I'm just so glad he did, because I would have really made that man's life hell because he was so annoying, so sexist. And I think I had a much better senior year because of that, because I was able to remember Mr. Weingartner, but also remember what he said. Remember to be kind to Mr. M, even though I so didn't want to be. And I think it helped everybody have a better year. Well, this is the end of my story. I hope you're getting something out of it. I think that when our loved ones come to talk to us, they are doing it for our benefit. I mean, he didn't need to come and talk to me for his benefit, but he was still a very loving person, and he cared about me, and he cared about the next teacher, that the next teacher would get to do a good job too. So I just love that. And if you have anything happen like this, and I would love to hear it in the comments. I also want to thank everybody who's been letting me do the free readings. I am learning a lot. I'm still going to take free readings all the way through January. So go ahead and sign up. What you do is you choose sliding scale. You go to my Kigaroo channel, and up in the corner is like a little book here. And just go there and then go to the sliding scale. And on the sliding scale, you can choose free, and I will give you a free reading. I'm really enjoying these. I'm having a good time, and I'm learning a lot. And I have you to thank for that, because you are helping to teach me. You're a good teacher too, like Mr. Weingartner. Okay, bye.